I'm sorry for being insensitive the other day. That's what Eliza, who's usually sarcastic, said to me as she bowed her head. For all I know, maybe Eliza was genuinely apologizing this time, reflecting on her past behavior. I let my guard down because of her apology. Little did I know that a police-involved incident was about to unfold. My name is Lisa. I've been working as a daycare teacher, a dream job, since my childhood. My husband Jace and I have been married for 3 years now. As we are enjoying a lazy day off, a call came in from my mother-in-law, Eliza. "You should come visit us soon. You haven't been home for 6 months." Upon hearing Eliza's voice, Jace made a face of annoyance. Though my in-laws' house is just a 30-minute drive away, Jace never seems eager to visit Eliza. He's always been put off by his mother's excessive meddling and maintains some distance. Eliza has always thrown jabs at me, ever since we got married, as if blaming me for taking away her only son. Though I find Eliza difficult, I have no choice but to go when called. The last time she told us to visit and we didn't, she showed up at our house unannounced. To avoid that hassle, it's better to go see her before she takes matters into her own hands. Sure enough, upon visiting for the first time in 6 months, the sarcastic comments started flying. Every time I visit, I feel stressed, being pestered about not having children yet. "You can't have kids because you're busy working. A woman should stay home." My father-in-law, Derek, a retired middle school teacher, often had to work on weekends due to his hectic schedule. Housewife Eliza always boasted, "I raised Jace all by myself. We can't make ends meet on my salary alone." Jace immediately encountered Eliza's snide remark. I want to work because being a daycare teacher was my dream, especially this year as I'm in charge of the seniors. I want to see them through to graduation. I explained that we're not planning to have kids yet, but that just led to more insults. "I was against your marriage from the start. What good does a daycare teacher do for society? You're just playing with kids all day, aren't you?" I was angry at being accused of just playing, but I let it slide with a wry smile. I can't let every one of Eliza's words get to me. Once she started her insults, there was no stopping her. "These days, mothers are terrible for leaving their kids so young. I wonder if it's mostly single moms or poor families." Eliza let out an exaggerated sigh. I can handle her criticizing me for not having a job or kids, but I can't keep my emotions in check when it comes to her prejudices against parents. Look, parents are struggling every day to balance work and raising their kids. What you've done, spending so much time with your children, is commendable. But not every family can afford to have a stay-at-home parent. So stop making such comments. "How dare you argue with me when you can't even have children?" Eliza retorted. As Eliza and I glared at each other, Derek finally spoke up. "Eliza, you're out of line. Watch your words." I was surprised that Derek came to my defense. He's a man of few words, and usually stays quiet when we visit. Apparently, Eliza doesn't realize she's being offensive. "What's wrong with speaking the truth? Children who are left in daycare probably won't turn out well," she continued. Ignoring Derek's warning, Eliza reiterated her prejudiced views. Angry at her comments, Jace started to hastily get ready to leave. "Enough is enough. Lisa, let's go." Eliza wanted to stop her son, but Jace was already heading for the door without looking back. "He's become so cold to me since he got married." Eliza became hysterical, perhaps because her son was being cold to her. She blames me, but Jace's cold behavior isn't new. Ever since he moved out, he began questioning Eliza's excessive interference. I was shocked to learn she'd go into his apartment with her own key and read all his mail. "What are you standing there for? Go get Jace right now," she commanded. Jace, who had already left the house, was ordered to be called back. Feeling irritated, wondering why I had to be given orders in the first place. It's sad, isn't it? You were always around, yet you're disliked. You mistake it for love, but it's just excessive interference. "Thank you for showing me how not to raise a child," I snapped. I knew we wouldn't see each other for a while, so I let it all out. I was also angry about her terrible comments about daycare parents. I felt a sense of relief getting that off my chest. Her face turned red with rage. "You'll see. I'll kick a nasty woman like you out of my house." Eliza slammed the front door after kicking me out. I figured this means I won't be called or visited for a while. I told Jace, who was waiting for me outside the entrance, what had happened. "Good on you for standing up to Mom. We'll have some peace for a while now." I felt reassured by Jace's words, but what Eliza said last still bothered me. If we don't hear from her, I guess we don't have to visit for Christmas. A few days after thinking this, Jace got a message from Eliza. "She's asking if we'd like to come to a pizza party. She said she regrets what she said to Lisa and wants to apologize." Jace asked me what I thought, and I hesitated. Honestly, I can't imagine Eliza actually apologizing. "The olives on the pizza are from a friend's farm. They're really fragrant and delicious. Let's just go, and if Mom starts her snide remarks again, we'll just take the pizza and leave." I couldn't help but laugh at Jace's suggestion. That's when I remembered Jace has a real love for pizza. All right, let's go. I'm curious to see if Eliza will actually apologize. So we decided to visit my in-laws' home again on our next day off. As soon as we arrived, Eliza immediately apologized. "I'm sorry for my insensitive remarks the other day. Can you forgive me?" Eliza's deep apology made her seem like a different person. After that, Eliza and I chatted and laughed. This might be a first since we got married. "Liza, you sit here. If you want seconds, just let me know." Eliza had even portioned out several pieces of pizza for each of us. Apparently, she's a bit of a germaphobe, even when it comes to family. The fresh pizza emitted an appetizing aroma. I noticed Derek wasn't around as we sat down to eat. According to Eliza, he was working in the yard, and she said to eat without him. "Guess we'll start then." Jace quickly grabbed a slice and took a big bite. The moment Jace picked up the pizza, I smelled its wonderful aroma. Eliza urged us to eat the hot pizza quickly, so I took a slice. The colorful veggies on top looked delicious. Eager to enjoy the acclaimed olives, I took a careful bite. But the moment I bit into it, something fell off. The bacon was juicy, and the abundant veggies were delicious. But the olives and asparagus don't have any fragrance, I muttered in a low voice. But I couldn't complain about food that was prepared for us. "Jace, do you taste or smell the olives on your pizza?" I quietly asked Jace, making sure Eliza couldn't hear. He nodded, as if it were a given. I thought maybe my nose was stuffed because I was catching a cold, so I continued to eat. 20 minutes after we started eating, Derek comes back from the yard and takes his seat. I must have looked puzzled while examining the pizza toppings. He asked what was wrong. I looked at Derek and said, "I was just thinking. I don't smell any olives or asparagus." Then Eliza's voice comes from the kitchen. "It's on there. Trust me." The moment I hear Eliza's laughter, Derek slams my plate off the table. "Spit it out. How much did you eat?" The plate shatters loudly on the floor. Caught off guard by Derek's uncharacteristic yelling, I stammer, I ate a few slices." Jace asks what's going on, but Derek just keeps insisting that I spit it out. Eliza, on the other hand, doesn't come out of the kitchen even though Derek is shouting. Confused, I get up to head to the bathroom and feel incredibly dizzy. I rush to the toilet and throw up repeatedly. I start sweating profusely and collapse in the bathroom. "Call an ambulance, now!" I hear Derek instructing Jace, and it sounds like he's also yelling something at Eliza in the distance. Next thing I know, I'm lying in a hospital bed. Apparently, I fainted temporarily due to dehydration from vomiting so much. "You're going to be fine. We got you treated right away," Jace says, looking almost in tears, as he explains what happened. Turns out, the pizza I ate contained red spider lily, a plant considered poisonous. While it's known for its beautiful flowers, the bulb resembles olives, and the stem looks like asparagus. To an untrained eye, it could easily be mistaken. Quick-thinking Derek had sent a portion of the pizza with Jace to be analyzed, revealing the presence of red spider lily. Is Jace okay? I was concerned as he had been eating silently.
We had all the pizzas checked, but...
Jace hesitates.
The only pizza that had red spider lily was yours, Lisa.
Chills run down my spine at this revelation, meaning someone intentionally fed me the poisonous plant. And the only person who could have done that was Eliza, who made the pizza herself. The doctor at the hospital says they need to report the food poisoning incident to the health department and asks for details. After hearing the situation, the doctor clearly thinks Eliza's behavior is suspicious and suggests contacting the police. Jace agrees, but says he needs time to process everything.
I can't think of her as my mother anymore. She's a criminal. What would have happened if Dad hadn't noticed?
I recall seeing news about people dying from consuming red spider lily. The thought that I could have been one of them terrifies me. First, I want to talk to Derek. I'm too scared to speak with Eliza right now. When we leave the hospital, we call Derek. He had left multiple calls and messages. However, what's even more terrifying is that there had been no communication from Eliza.
Are you okay? No matter how much I question Eliza, all she says is that she made a mistake, but I'm sure she did it on purpose.
Even the usually reserved Derek seemed agitated.
I've been holding back, but I can't take it anymore. She really is something.
Upon hearing about Eliza's shocking past from Derek, both Jace and I were stunned. Eliza lured me in, claiming she wanted to apologize, but she intended to harm me all along. Anger surged within both Jace and me, so we decided to confront Eliza directly. When we arrived at the parents-in-law's house, Eliza was sitting there, looking exhausted. She must have been scolded by Derek. Yet she didn't apologize or show any sign of concern upon seeing me. I never thought Derek would catch on. I was hoping to get rid of you, the audacious woman that you are. Jace snapped at Eliza's brazen attitude.
You've got to be kidding! You criminal!
Eliza seemed rattled being called a criminal by her own son. What do you mean? I did this for Jace's sake. If he stays with you, he'll never see his children. I'll find him a better partner, so just leave. Eliza didn't seem to feel any remorse for putting poisonous red spider lily in my food. So you intentionally mixed red spider lily. You wanted me to lose my life? Was this premeditated? Yes, I did it on purpose. Red spider lily grows nearby. It's easy to get. It's a shame you didn't eat more. You would have done more than just throw up. Jace lunged at Eliza in rage. I stopped Jace and pulled out the voice recorder I had in my chest pocket. Eliza, you've confessed to intentionally harming me, and it's all on this recorder. I'll be filing a damage report with the police. Eliza paled at the mention of the police. What? You'd send a family member to prison? Yes, and both Derek and Jace have agreed. Besides, you've done the same to Derek in the past. I relayed what I'd heard from Derek. There had been a major fight over a trivial matter before. The day after the big fight, Derek noticed that dinner's pizza had no smell of olives. As a former middle school teacher, he was always cautious about food poisoning and knew what could be toxic. Instantly, he thought of red spider lily. Derek faked a stomachache and didn't touch the pizza. After Eliza went to bed, he checked the trash can and found remnants of red spider lily, which terrified him. Because of his past experiences, he was able to quickly tell me to spit it out.
I can tolerate it if it's just me, but I can't allow harm to come to someone important to my son. We're getting divorced now.
Derek had been able to focus on work because of Eliza's support. She had helped raise Jace, so he couldn't easily bring himself to say divorce. He knew red spider lily had been mixed into the pizza, but never blamed Eliza before. But now, he seemed resolved to give up on Eliza. Eliza, who never thought divorce was on the table, was stunned. How am I supposed to live now?
I'll give you this house. We have some savings. They'll be your retirement fund once we distribute the property.
Derek continued talking about divorce, like he'd been planning it all along. Eliza barely had a moment to interject. While they were discussing the divorce, we decided to leave the house. We'll go to the police station with Jace. Please cooperate once the investigation starts, I said, and headed straight to the police station. The damage report was accepted, so an investigation into Eliza would soon begin. After that, Eliza started calling us almost daily.
Please, retract the damage report.
Her voice was full of exhaustion. Derek divorced her soon after and moved out. Between the police coming and Jace leaving, nasty rumors about Eliza had started in the neighborhood. Though she begged for help, I had no sympathy. I can't deal with any more persistent phone calls. Even if I change my phone number, there's nothing stopping them from just showing up at my house. Fed up with even having to deal with this, I finally said, "Fine, I'll retract the damage report. But never show your face to us again. Even when a grandchild is born, you won't meet them. If you approach us, I'll consult the police." This seemed to shock Eliza, who had been eagerly awaiting a grandchild. However, she must have thought that a criminal record would be more damaging. Eliza ended up paying me settlement money, so I withdrew the damage report. She probably used the money from a property division she got during her divorce from Derek, so her savings must have taken a big hit. I heard from Derek that Eliza couldn't take the neighborhood gossip anymore, and eventually sold her house to move to a cheaper rental in Philadelphia. Apparently, she's been calling Derek, wanting to get back together, but he made it clear that's not happening. From here on out, Eliza is likely facing a lonely life on her own. As for Derek, he moved close to our house. I've grown to love Derek, who I can really count on. I'm sure that even if we have grandchildren in the future, Derek will be there to protect them.